Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today, this Friday, August 30th. Now, today we are going to be talking about some wild animal attacks, a scandalous case of fake police and escorts, and a new Schengen-like proposal for Southeast Asia. But first, we're going to talk about our main story today, and that's the life sentence that has been handed down for the Spaniard in Koh Pha-ngan murder case. A Thai court sentenced Spanish chef Daniel Sancho Bonchalo to life in prison for the murder of Colombian plastic surgeon Edwin Arrieta Arteaga on Koh Pha-ngan. Initially facing the death penalty, Sancho's sentence was reduced due to his cooperation. The son of renowned Spanish actors, Sancho claimed the incident occurred after a confrontation with Arrieta, but he later admitted to dismembering the body. The case, involving gruesome details and celebrity connections, drew significant media attention, leading to an HBO documentary in Spain. Yeah, so this guy alleged that the man was attempting to sexually assault him at first, which led to a sort of scuffle, and eventually the man, in that scuffle, cracked his head on a bathtub or something like that. And this is all according, of course, to the survivor. The dead man tells no tales. But that would have been one thing if he had just gone to the police immediately when that happened, but then he went the extra mile and desecrated the body, dismembered it, and disposed of it in different places. So, yeah, that doesn't scream innocence to me either. Apparently, he was cooperating with the court, though, and was behaving well throughout the court process, so his death sentence has been commuted to a life sentence. Yeah, this is quite the scandal, particularly in Spain, where his parents are famous actors. Weird tale. If you are interested, there is an HBO documentary. It's in Spanish, just turn on the subtitles, but an interesting case. And now the sentence has been passed down. What do you make of it, everybody? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, moving on to our next story. We're heading into a little bit of politics and economics. Now, Thaksin proposes a negative income tax to combat poverty in Thailand. Now, Thaksin is proposing an NIT, or negative income tax, to tackle poverty and reduce inequality in Thailand. NIT, a concept first proposed by economist Milton Friedman, the libertarian's godfather, tops up the income of those earning below a certain level, incentivizing work while integrating recipients into the tax system. While this idea has been discussed before in Thailand, it faces challenges, including the need for tax system reform and public acceptance. Thailand's budget deficit and shrinking revenue base add to the complexity of implementing an NIT, making it a bold but risky proposal in the country's current economic climate. Yeah. So negative income tax, this basically means if you don't earn a certain income, the government will supplement that income and sort of boost you forward. That's tricky considering Thailand's current economic deficits, or budget deficits, I should say. Sometimes deficit spending, this can be a good thing. This leads to more stimulus of the private sector of the economy. And of course, putting that money into, poor people's pockets means they are going to use it, right? This is typically why tax cuts for the rich get ridiculed because, rich people, they already have money. So if you cut their taxes, they're just going to keep that money in the bank, which will help to lower interest rates, sure, but that doesn't help to directly stimulate the economy like putting the money in the pockets of poor people. So, if I'm poor and I'm barely struggling to make rent, all of a sudden I have a little extra scratch, I'm going to go out and use it. I'm going to go buy more food, fix my car, whatever it is. So kudos for the idea. The other big question is, what is Thaksin Shinawatra? Like, what does he have to do with economic policy? Isn't he not in power? Questions abound on this story, but let me know what you think. Is an NIT an effective economic strategy, especially in a place like Thailand? All right, moving on to our next story. I have a couple of stories of some animal attacks, okay? So a little bit of quick harrowing tales. A pit bull attack in a Bangkok market has raised safety concerns. That's right, a pit bull attack in Bangkok's Charonpon market has sparked safety concerns after a resident was bitten twice by the roaming dog on August 28th. The incident, which occurred in the busy Lotus Rama 1 area, gained attention on social media, highlighting community safety issues. Despite the high foot traffic, no measures were taken to secure the dog. The victim expressed frustration over the lack of action from local officials, emphasizing the risk posed by keeping such a dog in a crowded area. The situation has raised questions about public safety and pet owner responsibility. Look, fortunately, it's not that bad, okay? A couple of bites, but still, it's terrifying in the moment, especially with a dog like a pit bull. You're seeing a lot of places, a lot of countries starting to outlaw certain breeds, including pit bulls that are more bred for, guard dog duties. But at the end of the day, those dogs require much more responsibility in terms of the ownership. This dog's just roaming around in a very highly trafficked area, so unclear what kind of steps are going to be taken. Look, we all know soy dogs are a big thing here in Thailand. Honestly, my experiences with soy dogs have always been very positive. I've loved it. I've been on the beaches in Koh Samui and in Phuket. Had a great time with the random dogs roaming around. However, it does raise safety concerns because a lot of these dogs, they're not really treated well. They've suffered from abuse and mistrust of people, which leads them to act out and misbehave badly. So, what's animal control like here in Thailand? Seems like it could use a little bit of a boost to the budget in order to ensure the safety of the citizens roaming around as well. Now, let's get on to the next one. We do have another animal attack that I need to get through. A Thai mother is appealing for action after a monkey bites her daughter. A Thai mother in Samut Sakhon is pleading with local authorities to control the monkey population after one of the animals invaded her home and bit her 2-year-old daughter, causing serious head injuries. The incident occurred on August 17th, with the monkey entering the home in search of food. Despite repeated complaints from locals, no action has been taken yet by authorities. The mother shared images in a video online showing the extent of the damage and the injured child. In response, the Bangkok Municipality Office has promised to address the issue, investigating the scene and considering population control measures for the monkeys. I'll believe it when I see it. A lot of times we see these stories of like the monkey invasion, the Planet of the Apes, whatever it's on up there. And authorities seem to be unable to make significant efforts in curbing this situation. This one's particularly scary. The monkeys are getting bolder and brasher, invading people's homes in search of food. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the solution is. Probably they've made efforts to create like monkey lanes within the city, special places for monkeys to supposedly live, and they can feed them over there rather than them being all over the city. But it seems like the problem is still here. I'm not a parent, but I can imagine as a parent walking in, you hear your baby screaming. It's a 2-year-old, right? They scream, they cry. You walk in, what's the problem? Oh my God, there's a monkey biting my daughter's head. That's good. That's unacceptable. I would raise a stink about that as well. Fortunately, the child is okay, but that's a concern that I think the mother wants the city to address. We'll see what kind of steps the authorities will take up there. Moving on to our next story, we have a couple of, the next story is a little bit of an adult, so I'll give you a disclaimer on that because we're talking about some sexy time stuff. Now, a Thai escort has been extorted by fake cops over unfulfilled services. A Thai escort reported being extorted by 4 men who falsely claimed to be police officers after she failed to satisfy them during a paid encounter. The men, who initially paid 1,500 baht for her services, demanded a refund when they didn't climax and threatened to arrest her for prostitution. They further extorted 20,000 baht, which was negotiated down to 5,000 baht. The victim, fearing continued extortion, sought help from the Samai Survive organization and filed a complaint at the Muang Pra Nakhon Si Ayutthaya police station. Authorities are investigating whether the men were actual police officers. Come on. Gross, nasty. Like you're paying for the services first of all, what you didn't. She did the work. Okay, it's not your fault you didn't arrive. I'm trying to say this in ways that won't get me censored on social media or shadow banned or whatever. But pretty disgusting stuff. First of all, I mean, okay, whatever. I'm not going to shame sex work. I think that's something that most of the world, or a lot of the world, is sort of catching up to on the concept. Aussies, I know sex work is legal down there. Parts of America, many parts of Europe as well. So for a lot of the expats watching, I'm sure we are a little more understanding of the concept of sex work. But then when the sex worker becomes a victim of this kind of thing, she becomes nervous. Like in Thailand, it's still illegal, right? So where do you turn to for help? Fortunately, an organization like Samai Survive exists and is able to advise her on what to do. These guys, disgusting. Okay, all right, you paid your money. Maybe she even refunded them. Then they tried to extort her for even more money. So this poor girl, not only did she give the money back for the services rendered, they were trying to force even more money out of her. Under the guise of being police. So I hope these guys get in trouble and they get some sort of punishment put out their way because, you know, pretending to be police officers, first of all, big no-no. Extortion, another big no-no. Blackmail, right? If you don't pay us, we're going to out you as a sex worker. That is all, or arrest you even. That is all just absolutely scumbag behavior. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though, especially when it comes to the concept of sex work here in Thailand, which is obviously operating in a massive gray area. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Anyways, I have a funny one to end on for the Thai side of the news, and then I have some ASEAN news for you guys. Let's get to this one. This one's weird. A Thai motorcycle thief claims he stole to prevent his wife from leaving him. A Thai motorcycle thief, Wacharapong, confessed to stealing 6 vehicles in Chonburi, claiming he did it to prevent his wife from leaving him. Arrested by Banglamung police after trying to sell a stolen motorcycle cheaply, Wacharapong admitted to targeting bikes with keys left in the ignition. He explained that he stole motorcycles to search for his wife when she walked out during arguments, using the money from selling them to support her and fund his drug habit. Despite his apology, police believe he is a professional thief, citing his efforts to avoid detection by destroying CCTV cameras. Now, yes, this guy, drug habits, that's going to make the wife angry. Oh, I'm trying not to make my wife angry. I got to do more stuff, crime, in order to get more money to bring her back. That's a vicious cycle right there. Drug addiction, big problem here in Thailand. Not unclear which drugs it was. I would imagine yaba, yaba, methamphetamine. That's the only. That's the main drug that gets you hyperactive and thinking these are good ideas. So fortunately, he's been caught. But trying to keep the girl happy, not a good reason to turn to crime, I don't think. Now we're going to move on to our ASEAN news. So first stop, we're heading over to Vietnam. Google is considering building its first U.S. tech giant data center in Vietnam. That's right, Google is considering building a large hyperscale data center near Ho Chi Minh City, which would be the very first investment of its kind by a major U.S. tech company in the country. The potential investment, motivated by Vietnam's growing digital economy and demand for Google's cloud services, could be operational by 2027. This move would boost Vietnam, which has struggled to attract foreign investment in data centers due to infrastructure challenges. Google is also expanding its presence in Vietnam by opening a representative office, hiring locally, and investing in AI education. It's a big move. One of those, there's a China, right? China has its own infrastructure, right? Its own internet infrastructure. It's banned Google, it's banned Facebook, it's banned pretty much everything that the rest of the world operates on. But Southeast Asia, while there are some controls on the internet, like if you know anything about Thailand and the adult entertainment sector, that's not really allowed on the internet here. But in Vietnam, there are internet controls as well. So that's telling that a lot of these major players are willing to play ball with these governments and accept sort of the censorship efforts or whatever guidelines that the governments want in order to create these mega centers of data, because there is such demand from businesses here for those Google services. We'll see. Big investment. Google hasn't exactly commented on this yet. It's sort of just rumblings at this point. But that would be a massive shift in resources, in labor, and of course now with the rise of AI, you might not need as many people to run that kind of operation. Yeah, are they really creating jobs? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're going back over to Malaysia. A new sinkhole in Kuala Lumpur has raised alarms near the recent disappearance. So a new sinkhole has emerged on Jalan Masjid India in Kuala Lumpur, just 50 meters from where a woman went missing after falling into a similar sinkhole last week. The incident has heightened concerns, leading officials to cordon off the area and investigate potential damage to the sewage pipes beneath. Ongoing search and rescue operations for the missing woman have been hampered by heavy rain. Authorities are now assessing the stability of the area, while another sinkhole has appeared on Jalan Pantai Permai, further raising alarm about the city's infrastructure. God, this is the scariest stuff in the world, man. Obviously, it's rainy season, it's monsoon season. That's going to lead to more sinkholes, but it's happening at an alarming rate over in KL. So if you are walking the streets of KL, be careful, be alert, man, because it seems like it's ready to open up and swallow, especially if you're in that little India area of KL, because now it's like 3 sinkholes have opened up over there. Fortunately, the authorities have cordoned off the area to make sure that nobody else slips in, because that poor Indian woman, she fell in last week. They still haven't found her. So they are ramping up efforts to try and locate the body, I imagine, is what we're looking for. But absolutely terrifying stuff. Be careful if you are in that area because, yeah, it seems like they do not have it sorted out. All right, moving on to our last story. This is an interesting one for all of you travelers out there. So Southeast Asian nations are set to introduce a Schengen-style single visa in order to boost tourism. So, Thailand, spearheading the effort, along with Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Vietnam, is proposing a Schengen-style single visa system to boost tourism in Southeast Asia. This initiative, originally led by former Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin, aims to create seamless travel across these 6 nations, similar to the European Schengen area. The proposed visa system builds on success of recent visa-free policies that have significantly increased tourism, particularly in Thailand, which saw 28 million visitors in 2023. The single visa is expected to enhance economic connectivity, attract more high-spending tourists, and provide a buffer against global economic challenges. Discussions are ongoing to address logistical and security concerns. It worked for Europe. Why won't it work for Southeast Asia, right? Schengen is a very important thing. Now, I'm lucky. I have one of those good old US of A passports. I get into a lot of these places visa-free. But for much of the currently enriching world, right? If we're talking about China, talking about India, we're talking about other countries within Southeast Asia, it's a little more difficult for them to get visas going into these different areas. So I remember when I worked in China, all of my I was working in a corporate setting, and all of my coworkers, when they got that Schengen visa, it was like getting a lottery ticket, man. They were ready to go. They were ready to go and spend money and be great tourists in that area. Why not down here as well? Because making it easier to travel between these countries is going to lead to, first of all, definitely a larger influx of international tourists spending more time in the area, but also intermingling as well, as it'll be easier for all of these ASEAN nations to go and visit each other too. So, good idea. I'm in favor of a more borderless world, and hopefully they can figure out the logistical and security concerns that come along with it, and we can see this sooner rather than later. What do you guys think? Are you going to buy into this whole ASEAN Schengen idea? Schengen, excuse me. Let me know in the comments. All right, let me wrap up the show, guys, and then I'll get into the comments afterwards. Guys, that'll do it for the news on this Friday, August 30th. We will be back again with you next Monday. We're heading into September, everybody. Final quarter of the year on the way. But yes, please do go to thetiger.com for more updates throughout the day. We are doing a lot more world news, ASEAN news. Of course, Thailand news is always going to be there as well. So we'd like to keep you updated on all things that we think you'll find interesting. Also, if you want to join the conversation, please head over to ASEANnow.com. Sign up. It is the largest platform in Thailand for expats on a forum. Fun conversations to be had there all the time. Lots of interesting insights and tips about living and traveling here in the land of smiles.